So
yes.
First question comes from at K5 and our boy Kevin Renaud, Speak Your Piece creator.
Gang.
On the brand. He asks, and this is all to all of our HK312 fans. You're gonna love this. Kevin asks, how do you do a linear regression? And we're asking Ian this.
So how you do a linear regression is quite simple. And listeners, viewers, let me provide some context here. I have not taken a science class in probably about 5 years. Since grade 10, I haven't taken a science class. And just to also clarify, the last two science classes I took in grade 11 and grade 12 was Chem 11 and Geology 12. So I am an expert on all things science. And a linear regression is like the downhill like model you make. You make like a slope. It's like going downhill, and you have like all these like scatter plot things. And then isn't like the linear regression is like the middle of that or something? Like when
you're close.
Like when you're going like it's on an XY axis.
Sure.
And then the well, I guess that would it actually be from like bottom left to top right, because I guess all graphs should start there. But the
slope, depending on the variables and the data that you have, it can be either a down slope. It just depends on the graph, right? It's very dependent. You were close actually.
Oh,
so it is with a scatter plot. You have a line of best fit, which is like a line that like as closely as possible resembles all of the points, because it's not going to always be linear, right?
Sure. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Anyways,
so why is he asking this, and am I helpful in any way?
Probably because we have a bit of a tricky lab assignment, which plus on top of 3 other lectures from one class alone, and the lectures are an hour long each. So yeah, we have a lot of work this week from that one class, and it's not a pleasant class.
So you have 3 lectures from one class. So one class isn't a lecture?
That's correct. Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah, it's a dumb class. Anyways, not important. Kevin asked how we do linear regression. If Kevin wants to know, he can come up to my place. He lives 2 floors below me. He can come find me and ask about how to do it.
And does he have to like say a magic word or do anything to get your help, or he can just come up?
He knows the code to my place. He can get in. It's not a big deal.
And the code to Scott's place is 6026, by the way, in case anybody wants to come in. 6026 to go into Scott's place.
Moving on. So Kevin's brother Keith asks a more relevant question, a question that Ian will probably be able to answer. March Madness teams most likely to get an upset win. Maybe give us 3.
I had Grand Canyon. I actually do think they could upset, but
unlikely.
I have one team, but I won't spoil that team. I'm going to go with Oregon State. I'll go with Oregon State to beat Tennessee. I think there's an upset there.
Shitty Oregon. Okay, got it. Cool.
Shitty Oregon, the Civil War. Just context, Oregon State was predicted to finish 12th in the Pac-12 at the beginning of the season. Mm-hmm. And they won the Pac-12 tournament outright, and that's how they got their bid.
Wow.
So
what are they going in as? What seed?
They are going in as a 12th seed.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
17 and 12 record. So I have Oregon State, Syracuse. I'm going to say Syracuse because I'm riding with Syracuse. Syracuse is a ride or die.
And you said Grand Canyon as well.
I said Grand Canyon, but to give you another team that isn't Grand Canyon, because we talked about them earlier, shout out my boys Eastern Washington against Kansas. I have no idea where is Eastern Washington in Cheney? Yeah, Cheney. Eastern Washington, the Eagles, I believe they are. They will beat Kansas. So Syracuse, Eastern Washington, and the other team I mentioned, Oregon State. I got some local teams there. What's the next mailbag question?
Next question. So Fuji is our friend, our good friend, a good friend of the pod. We played ball with him in the summer. Alex Fujimagari, we all know him as Fuji. He is bored in the house bored. He's asking what are the best shows. He's asking what the best shows to watch, and he says he's quote bored at home.
So do you go for, if you got shows you like to watch, you go first, because I have a kind of a couple.
I have 2 or 3.
Sure.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine is like GOAT comedy show, without a doubt. It's top class right there. It's my favorite show. It's like show I watch when I'm like, okay, what else? There's nothing else to watch. I've seen it like twice already, so I'm like, it's great. Let's just watch an episode when I think it's funny. And yeah, Brooklyn Nine-Nine's good. I know Fuji's a Riverdale guy, so I say Riverdale. Get caught up with it. It's a good show. Based in Vancouver, filming. Good show. And then, I don't know. Man, there's so many good shows out at this point.
So
the 100 is a good show. If you haven't seen that,
I've been told the 100's good. I couldn't get into it, but a few people I know like the 100. I'm just built different. So TV shows, I have 3, maybe 4. So a bunch of people on Saturday were asking me if we're going to do Instagram Live on Saturday night. And I said, no, we're not going to. And then one person texted us, like DM'd us at like 9:45 at night if we're going to do an IG Live. And I said, no, I'm watching World War II in color. And World War II in color is such a good show. And it's better than, this actually happened, people. This is history. This is drama, history, real political power. Real life,
real events. Yeah.
So World War II in color, highly suggest. F1 Drive to Survive.
Oh my god.
No. This is good. This is a really good show. It's really fun. They already have 2 seasons out. The 3rd one is coming out on Friday. Highly recommend that. That's a really great way to get into F1. Like if you like, F1 is a really easy sport if you follow like Drive to Survive. If you pay attention to Drive to Survive and you watch that, it's really easy.
I think there's better ways to get into F1.
That's a really
video game. That's the way to do it, and then you'll get into F1.
The video game is here's the thing. Video game is a bit complicated for like amateurs. You have to really play it a lot to get to know it.
That's like every game, though.
No, but Drive to Survive, you could just watch it for like 12 hours and you already know who hates who and what teams are actual garbage. But Drive to Survive. And then I'll say the 3rd show, at least one show that I really enjoy is Big Mouth. Nick Kroll, Don Mulaney. Yeah. It's really funny. Highly enjoy it. This last season was, I don't think it was still good. But I don't think it was as good as their other ones, but still good. The peak of, I think it was season 3 or season 4, and the peak of the show, the best part of it was, so they are in suburban New York and they're going into Manhattan to go to the 9/11 memorial. Ground Zero. And basically, at the beginning of the episode, the teacher's just like, okay, guys, I need you to take this seriously. This is an important day, so no gummy arms. And then you just see all the kids like with gummy arms, just like waving their arms back and forth. Like these are all elementary school kids, and it's totally something that I would have done. And it's just like, what about gummy? And then one kid's like, what about gummy chest hair? And he opens his shirt, it's just gummy out of his shirt. Great moment.
It's always like when a teacher says don't do something, they're obviously gonna do it. Like
yes.
When you're 8, 9 years old, it just happens. You're just gonna do it.
So to recap, I would say F1 Drive to Survive, World War II in color, and Big Mouth. Those are my go-to shows. And in case you couldn't tell, I am 46 years old with a mortgage, and that's why I like all of the F1 and the.
Ian's a hardcore boomer.
I am very much a boomer. Like if you haven't already figured out, like the reason Scott's on the podcast is to give it some sort of youthfulness and some sort of like youth injection, where Ian's just like.
I mean, I'm a full year younger than you. Like.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's very true.
So there's a bit of youth that way. So
bit of youth that way. More mailbag questions.
We've got our guy Jevin. Go check it out. We do this every pod. He's a contributor. So Jevin's asking
if he's trying to be a creator, we could get him something worked out.
No. He's got his own podcast. Go
check out Jevin's pod. Jevin actually does a really good podcast. Highly recommend it.
Good guy. He's asking about Thatcher Demko. He asked if he should deserve some Vesna discussion and conversation And will he make the U.S. Olympic team?
So to answer the first question, he deserves some discussion, but he shouldn't get the award.
I'm the same with you, yeah.
Fleury is way more deserving than Demko is of the Vezina at this point.
Vasilevsky,
Jonathan Bernier, clearly.
There's at least 5 better goalies than Thatcher Demko.
Yes.
Without a doubt, that deserve Vezina recognition. He's not a bad goalie. If the Canucks were in the playoffs and it was a lot of it had to do with Demko, different story.
I think Demko is actually a really good goalie, and I think he deserves to be the starter from day one. I just don't think he's Vezina worthy right now.
Yeah.
The U.S. Olympic conversation is really good. I want to have the Olympic conversation again with you at some point here.
Yeah. That's a pod. That's a big pod later.
Yeah, I know that'll take we'll probably talk for 2 hours then. It's obviously between Hellebuck and Gibson.
Gibson's the one. Come on.
Well,
on a team like that,
for the 1-2, it's Hellebuck Gibson
for sure.
And any order, and you're doing fine. You're doing good.
Yep, true.
Third option, I'd say it's a wild card. The third option could be just about anybody.
Just about anybody. Yeah, I was gonna say you can almost throw Jack Campbell in there when he's healthy.
Sure. Yeah. I can't really argue with that, and probably Demko is the third goalie right now.
Yeah.
It would take a miracle for anybody to overtake Gibson and Hellebuck for 1-2 on the U.S. team.
It won't happen for at least 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. So I'll say Demko is the third goalie for Team USA, but that's a wild card.
That's
Anything could happen.
It's gonna be a situation where someone's gonna play their way on the team next year before the Olympics, and that's how it's gonna happen for sure. No,
probably.
So Jevin said yes to both. So I guess we both agreed with him in a sense.
I think in a way, yeah.
Yeah. Next question from Jevin. He also has another question from him.
Sure.
What will it take for Ian to buy a Derek Forbort reverse retro jersey from the Jets?
Oh.
How?
You know what was funny? Because Derek Forbort, he got in some shit the other day, wasn't it? Was hitting a Canuck, or did he hit Hoglander, didn't he? And he tried to get into a fight with Hoglander, wasn't it?
I think ago? Yeah, that sounds right. He stood him up right in front of the bench, and Hoglander wasn't happy.
Yeah, something like that. But
Anyways.
I don't know what the incident is, but I know there's beef between the two of them, and I know everybody's like, "Who the hell is Derek Forbort?" And then me, an intellectual, I won a Stanley Cup with him with the Anaheim Ducks in my GM mode in NHL 19.
Yeah, as your third pairing defenseman?
He's a 7th D-man.
There you go. He's not even on the team, dude.
So I know who Forbort is. I wouldn't buy his jersey at all. I wouldn't buy his reverse retro. But what would it take for me to buy his reverse retro?
You have to lose that. You'd have to lose a big bet.
I'd have to lose a big bet. You'd have to pay me to probably buy that jersey. Compensate
half of it? Yeah.
Somebody would have to pay me $300 to $500. Here's the thing. The two guys on the Jets I would have bought jerseys for were Hellebuck and Laine, and Laine's gone.
Right.
So I would only wear
oh man, Morrissey's nasty though. Morrissey.
I don't know.
I would have Morrissey, Stifley.
Neil Pionk.
Pionk? Yeah, I was in Pionk too. But
here's the thing. I would maybe get a Hellebuck. If I had to get a Jets jersey, it would be a Hellebuck Heritage Classic. The
Heritage Classic jerseys are dope, actually.
Either they're dark blue or an old time Jets jersey.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So that's what I would get if I would get a Jet jersey. To get a Forbort reverse retro, you'd probably have to pay me $500 to $1,000 to take it off your hands.
There you go. Jevin's got a couple $500 for that.
Yeah.
Last question from Marcus Hernandez.
Yes.
He says UCSB, which I'm assuming is University of California, Santa Barbara.
Is going
is going deep and going to get into the Sweet 16. What are your thoughts?
I have them upsetting Creighton. I have them winning their first round matchup, but then I have them losing to Virginia. So I don't have them getting to the Sweet 16, but I have them getting to the second round. Though Virginia's absolute clamps on defense. Like Virginia, like
yeah,
Hall
of Fame clamps.
I'm trying to think of like the actual comp for Virginia and like their defensive talent and just it's so good, Virginia. So I'll say second round, not Sweet 16, but second round.
So they'll win their first round. They'll upset someone.
They'll upset Creighton.
Cool. I like it. That's Mailbag, people. That's a good job. Send more questions. We love to see the increase. That's what we like to see.